All right, heading into round two of Zeta versus Fennel with a tie in the first round. So really, the scoreboard is basically set back to 0. No team has the lead here. But we do have bans in play. Zeta, for our global bans here, we've got Mercenary, Fire Investigator, and Gardener. Map pick is Lakeside for the second round. And we will be seeing the Antiquarian and First Officer banned first. So yeah, definitely not surprising to see that First Officer permanently in ban jail here. We do have a Hunter ban coming through from Zeta, should come through momentarily. Would not be surprised to see Ivy ban, but no, actually no, that does make sense here. We are going to see Opera Singer because the map is Lakeside. Lakeside is notoriously just a not strong map for Ivy. It's very, very large. It's much more difficult for her to be able to kind of use that map control that she's so good at. It really is Ivy's strength as a hunter. So yeah, using that map pick against Fennel is a very good idea here for Zeta. And it was their map pick, so yeah, that just adds to it. Zeta does really like Lakeside in round 2. This is something I've noticed, is that they do tend to pick Lakeside in round 2 if they can. So yeah, a little bit, it's not a bad map. It's especially not a bad round 2 map, so it's not something that I would be like, okay, you need to ban it against. But all right, looks like we are going to have a Prospector on the field here for our final pick. That will be banned in the next round. Because it was a tie in round 1, we're guaranteed a round 3, so many more matches to come. But Wildling, Coordinator, and Prospector, I would say maybe we're looking to counter that Disciple with that Prospector on the field. But also it is Zeta, so having that Prospector on lock here, definitely not a bad idea. We will see a Magician ban as well here, and Aeroplanist for our final pick. Aeroplanist is, once again, the only rechargeable member of this team, or reusable member of this team. The Wildling Coordinator and Prospector will be banned for round 3. So, yeah, very... very fun to have the triple ban in play here. It really does change the way, at least a little bit. I feel like it's gonna get, it's gonna get a little crazy here in round 3, but here in round 2 already, we've got that Prospector coming out. Hamato on Prospector, very formidable here. A little bit sad to not see Kazuneko Prospector. He is, or was, very well known for that Prospector, but Kazuneko is an Aeroplanist main, so as an Aeroplanist main, not a bad thing ever to see Kazuneko in that department. But we should have Hasha's Hunter pick shortly once we got those Persona webs locked in. I would definitely not be surprised to see some more of those no borrowed time Persona webs here. Especially on Coordinator, maybe even on Prospector as well. Aeroplanist can also go without borrowed time. But it looks like we will be going with the Ivy once again here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Even if this is a bit of a weaker map for her, she is still one of, if not the strongest hunter in the meta right now. So, yeah, we will be going with a bit of an interesting spawn here. Yeah, Shinami's spawning down at the Big Rock. Kind of a bit in no man's land there. Kazuneko up on the boat. We've got Delusu over at Small Boat, and Hamatsu up near Crap Shack. And it looks like Hasha is actually going to go straight for Small Boat, so looking to lock off the Big Boat Cypher, as well as targeting the Coordinator first. Definitely not a bad idea here. All of these survivors do have pretty strong early game containment potential. I would say Prospector might be the weakest member in terms of early game, not being a pain in the neck. But going after Coordinator first, or at the very least pressuring Coordinator first, is not a bad idea. We are working with the Ivy, so she can really go wherever she wants. Once she's got that Yith out, just teleport away immediately, try and sniff out that Prospector. But yeah, we'll see kind of how that goes. This is the kind of spawn that you don't see outside of tournament, though. Really, because allowing it's a very Ivy situational spawn as well, I think. But yeah, don't do that in your rank matches. And it looks like we will be seeing that no borrowed time. Oh no, it will be on both the Aeroplanist and the Prospector here. So both of them will be carrying Flywheel, Aeroplanist with that second Tide Turner here once again from Zeta, and Prospector with Broken Windows. We've got Coordinator with Flywheel as well, and Wildling with just Tide Turner. And once again, we're going to be seeing that Blink, Insolence, Detention, Persona, and trait from Hasha. But once again, things are all tied up here, so no points on the board from really either side, and we will see that Yith coming out into play to get us started on the second round. Second round, first half. Going to leech onto the Coordinator here. She's at about 60 stacks of that corruption. It looks like we're also going to go ahead and pressure that Wildling off his Cypher, so really wanting to slow down the Cypher progress here. The one thing that Ivy can do very effectively on Lakeside is force the survivors to kind of run around the map and find new Cyphers to decode. So that strategy definitely coming into play. We will get that first hit on Coordinator and no gun in sight. I believe that may have been canceled, but also may be saved for this next hit. Looking for another hiss. Not quite able to get it with the Yith here. Can we get it with the main body? Now, the one problem with getting it with the main body is that we are with a Coordinator. If we've got a direct line of sight to get that hit, and yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. We will get that direct line of sight, but oh, very nicely done with the Flywheel. Delusa really on point with those. I think that's 2 for 2, actually, with Delusa being able to Flywheel the corruption, so very well done. We will see a Blink come into play though, and with Coordinator gunless, Flywheel-less, nothing Delusu could do about that, and we will see our first chair. Now Kazuneko is right in the area here, and will get Yithed, I suppose, leeched onto, not quite able to continue that Cypher, and he will be forced to rescue here. Likely forced to rescue here. But we may have Shinami come in for it after all, or at the very least, he is going to give a little bit of pressure here. Kind of playing that will he, won't he. We've got Kazuneko setting up. I believe this might be... Okay, no, we're not going to go ahead and use the hover to get to that chair. But playing around... Oh, but it looks like we are going to just go for the hit. That will be a before half rescue. We've actually got Hamatsu in for the support here. Looking for that magnet, and it looks like that did go off. Nicely done. That was actually quite a long stun from Prospector. A bit invisible because we were on the Yith at that point from Hasha's point of view, but Prospector once again with the harassment, trying to just keep the heat off of Doliso, and oh, a very long stun there, all the way back into that obstacle. Really nicely done. Yith continuing to follow Coordinator here. We can't leech on though, but we are going to look for that hiss. Oh, and it was successful, and up to 100 corruption, and she will be going down. Now we are, we do still have a second half of the chair to go through, but we're just now getting started on that final Cypher. Cypher's at about halfway, so about 2 Cyphers remaining at this point. But just really aggressive here from Hasha. Very refreshingly aggressive as well. Nicely done with the hit on Wildling. He does still have Boar. We'll see. Okay, he is going to get on it now. At this point, Shinami needs to just waste as much time as possible. And keep Hasha's attention. Oh, nicely done there. So just barely able to complete that Cypher in time before the Yith caught up. Delisu, unfortunately, not quite able to be rescued here. Shinami kind of forced into a rock and a hard place because he took the hit so far away from the chair. And it looks like Hamatsu taking this chase now. Kazuneko still able to decode over with the Aeroplanist. And Prospector is going to take that first hit. And back on Wildling to pressure him off of that Cypher. Yeah, once again, we are going to have the Ivy endgame here, but it might be snowballing faster than the previous matches. We do have one cipher remaining here. Ciphers are at 53 and 36% though. That is going to take a minute. Now, Wildling is the one on share, so that's a little bit unfortunate here for Hasha. Having Wildling on share does mean that both the survivors who can actually decode are still left on the field. But with that Yith in play, it looks like Hasha is in good position to just continue to camp both of these ciphers. We are going to see the Yith come out again, or back and out again. And actually left behind at the chair here, Kazuneko using that jetpack to just get a little bit of distance on Ivy. And we've got the Yith back and teleporting back to the chair. Oh, just in time for Prospector to get that rescue. Xiaomi, unfortunately, nowhere to go, is going to go just straight down again. Hamatsu not in the area, not quite able to get any magnet stuns off. Shinami will be sent back to the manor here. We've got 2 survivors remaining, 78% on that cipher, but it is going to be pressured off once again. Hamatsu trying to return back to it, but that Ostrakhan is still there. And he can be leeched, so we're going to see that Yith heading back towards the shack. Oh, and nicely done. Just the knowledge of the sweet spots of Ivy's hitbox. Very well done here. And at this point, we are looking at what I would say is a 4-man elimination here. There's really not quite anywhere for these survivors to go. Both of them down. They do both still have self-heal, but with Ivy, it's going to be very difficult for either of them to manage to get dungeon here. We've got Kazuneko up the top of the boat, the Yith heading back over. Hasha is just going to go ahead and go straight for the chair. Kazuneko is back up. He does have a jetpack left as well as his hover, so he can get quite a bit of distance on Ivy right now. But will he be able to last through the entire chair? It's questionable. With that teleport back, and yeah, not even able to get that jetpack in play. We are going to see that blink come through. Hasha with a 4-man elimination to start us off in round 2. All right, heading into the second half of round 2 here. Once again, Miku Melody needs to get a 4-man elimination here. There's really no way out of it. With the extra point that a 4-man elimination gives, that puts 5 points on the board for Fennel. And while it's not impossible to kind of recoup that, even if it's a 3-man elimination, a draw in this round, it's not impossible odds to come back from in round 3, but it's definitely difficult odds to come back from in round 3. So the best possible situation for ZETA here, no pressure, but Miku Melody does need to get that 4-man elimination. We are going to see the first officer as well as coordinator as our first 2 bans. Global bans here for Fennel are Prisoner, Wildling, and Antiquarian. And it looks like we will be banning the Opera Singer as well, so not afraid of that Ivy. And Mercenary making his appearance here as well as Barmaid. So both of them obviously will be banned in round 3. We'll add Seer to the mix from Miku Melody. And Fire Investigator has been selected as pick number 3. So once again, all 3 of those will be banned going into round 3, but we will see them here and now. And Embalmer is going to be that final ban from ZETA. Definitely not a bad ban here. Embalmer is honestly pretty strong on Lakeside. There's a lot of areas for him to place that coffin, as well as the fact that just from existing, he does increase the chances of another escape because he allows the team to get a free rescue. Means no survivors need to go in, no survivors need to stop decoding, get injured. But in that same vein, we will see that mechanic come through, trying to use that doll as that extra survivor on the field. Make sure you don't have to come rescue, you don't have to come you don't have to lose decoding progress. You get an extra cipher on the field, or an extra body, I would say, to decode that cipher. Definitely a strong pick here, with Fennel needing to get just 1 escape here in order to win this round and give them the edge heading into round 3. I would definitely not be surprised to see if we're carrying a no borrowed time build on that mechanic though as well, because she is a little bit vulnerable. She will be taking the safest spawn over at the big boat, and actually with the mercenary as backup here to, you know, kind of leave the open space as far away from that mechanic as possible, and at very least give her enough time to get that bot out, because that is the most important thing here. We are actually going to see Miko Melody spawning as close to mechanic as possible here. I would say definitely looking for that first chase on mechanic. We do have Fire Investigator over at the small boat, as well as Barmaid in the shack. Mercenary here looking to waste time. Mercenary, honestly, not a terrible first target, but we do have, you know, a lot of decoding potential on this team, because I do believe Fire Investigator has a small decoding debuff. I would actually have to check that. But mechanic, you know, leaving a mechanic alone on the field is very, very dangerous for a hunter. But yeah, I mean, it's very tight odds here, especially for a first-time professional hunter, being, you know, there's huge shoes to fill. I said that before, but really, really huge shoes to fill, kind of taking over for Alf. So it's, you know, it's a lot of pressure to be under in this situation, but we will see, yep, no borrowed time on that mechanic. Flywheel as well as broken windows. Rest of the team is carrying borrowed time and flywheel, save for the Merc, who is carrying Tide Turner. We've got once again with that insolence, detention, and blink on the Ivy. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's why we see these kind of formulaic builds, formulaic picks coming into tournament, because if it works, it works. You want to win, so you do the thing that makes you most likely to win. But heading into the second half of round 2 here, and heading just beelining for that boat. We need to cut off mechanic as soon as possible. She does have that bot out, and it looks like Yith momentarily heading up, but unfortunately, Mech not quite able to sneak out of the area. She will be heading towards the crab shack here. And Miko Melody looking for a sandwich. Oh, but not quite able to get that pallet stun. Ivy just a little bit too skinny, not quite fitting in that pallet. Wow. That should have been a pallet stun. That's crazy that it wasn't. But looking to set up a sandwich here, trying to get the main body in play, close enough to where a hiss at 89 corruption is going to actually do something. But Flywheel is off cooldown. Unfortunately, Sasori not quite able to Flywheel out of that. We do have the bot in play though, so the bot is able to decode here once we've got mechanic chaired. The bot will be free to decode on that big boat. But Cypher is honestly not looking too bad here. We were able to get a lot of progress with mechanic basically kiting across the map. But Miko Melody is able to pressure the center of the map here, getting the leech in on Barmaid. And Mercenary heading for the rescue. Now, there has been a bit of a stall in decoding progress as the survivors are forced off their ciphers, kind of taking that corruption in stride. But oh, a Terror Shock on the Mercenary. I do believe the rescue was still before half, but that is going to be a double down situation, or at the very least a single down situation. Mechanic at risk of double down if she's not able to really rebound from this. But we do have Flywheel in play. Unfortunately, not quite able to escape that blink, so that will be a double down. Bot does still have quite a bit of life on it, but I believe this was a rescue before half. That Terror Shock might have changed things, but nope. Okay, it was before half, so that does give the bot plenty of time. They don't need to rescue mechanic right now. They just need to be able to reset, but with Ivy, it's very difficult to reset. We were able to get Mercenary back up again, but unfortunately, he has been hit just straight back down. Now, he didn't use his self-heal, so he can still, you know, self-heal out of this, but that's not ideal here for Fennel, especially since nobody's really in the area. Looks like, I don't know if we're going to be able to make it in time. Yeah, not quite able to make it in time to rescue the mechanic. So That bot will be at least temporarily useless. Actually, it will be very useless because the only character that can switch out for that bot control would be the mercenary who's currently chaired. We've got 3 ciphers remaining. Full cipher missing here. This is actually looking really good for Miko Melody. Just being able to control the map like this, that Terror Shock on the mercenary might have made the match. Was that a Terror Shock? Yeah, that was another Terror Shock. Just the rescue pressure here, absolutely incredible. And yeah, I mean, at this point, there's very little that Fennel can do. Nicely done with that ball, though. Nicely done with the airbag. And we are going to be able to use YoGG as a weapon just momentarily to get that extra hit in on Emco. Going for the hit as well, and Maiken actually not in the area to come for a rescue. He has... Okay, looks like he's running across the map, possibly to pick up the mechanic doll, but no, I don't think so. We do have Tinnitus though, so we have some inkling of where he's going, but oh, yep, we have been able to find him immediately. Yeah, this is looking like a 4-man elimination. Now he has been able to get he was able to get the controller. He was able to get the remote control, so Mechanic Bot is back in action. At least for a bit here. We'll see if he swaps back. Yeah, no, it looks like that bot has stopped decoding here. Nicely done with that elbow pad to get out of the range of that teleport, but we will see that leech come through. Maiken stuck at 90%, 98, 100, there we go. And will we be able to get that hit? Yes, we will. Unfortunately, all elbow pads have been used. Self-heal has not, though, so we do still have self-heal for Mercenary. Fire Investigator, though, is unfortunately without self-heal. So he can block off the boat here. It looks like that is the plan, but no, unfortunately, not quite able to do that. Oh, blanking right through. He did try to lock off the boat there, but that is going to be a 4-man elimination for Miko Melody. Very proud of that, as he should be. Just getting that 4-man elimination where it really, really matters and keeping ZETA alive. Just incredibly done there to keep this tied up. Heading into round 3, it's really going to come down to if either team can get points on the board at this point.